So today I want to be discussing whether or not animals can acquire human language and its use effectively. More specifically, because this question has not ever been concretely answered, I will be discussing whether or not animals have the potential to use human language effectively. Because I don't believe that they will ever adopt its use to a level similar to our own. Before discussing my argument, one must understand what it takes to acquire language. There are three requirements. First, one must take various steps in a direction towards higher intelligence and cognitive function. Second, there must be a process of associating words with meaning. And third, there must be an understanding of hierarchy to be able to arrange those words in specific orders in order to create larger meanings. You see, we tend to define language as something that is innately human. However, in the last half a century, studies have been proving this assumption more and more incorrect. Time and time again, various animals have been observed using and interpreting language with surprising success and accuracy. For example, take Chaser the Border Collie. Chaser the Border Collie is a Border Collie that has been taught over 1,000 words that associate to specific objects, and he has been seen accurately identifying and retrieving said objects. He has the largest tested memory of any animal. Although this dog could not actually speak, the amount of words and spontaneous commands he could interpret was astounding. This not only showed researchers that dogs have considerable cognitive function, but also that they have the potential to understand words syntactically and understand new commands with old, already known words. Another prime example that shows the development of animals in learning human language is the observations from the bonobo monkey Pan-Benicia. Living at the Language Research Center at the Georgia State University in Atlanta, Pan-Benicia had been taught various words with a special keyboard that correlated each word to a specific or set of lexicograms so that he could identify the correct ones. As he was exposed to a sound or image, he was expected to correlate that image or sound with its respective lexigram on the keyboard. However, one day he showed independent behavior that exemplified his use of language. One day, while strolling through the woods with a team of researchers, the monkey reached for his special keyboard. He repeatedly pressed the buttons for Fight, Mad, and Austin in various orders. Austin was the name of another bonobo back at the research center. Savage Rumbaugh then asked, "Was there a fight with Austin?" Pan-Benicia responded with high-pitched screeching, "Wah, wah, wah," which Savage Rumbaugh interpreted as a response for yes. Upon further investigation, she found that earlier that day, in the building where Austin was living, there was a fight between a mother and son over a joystick during a training exercise. She found that the fight had escalated with much noise, eventually ending in the son biting the mother in a display of dominance. Pan-Benicia, who had been living in a building just 200 yards from Austin's building, must have overheard the ruckus and urged to inform his instructors of the occurrence. This was astonishing. Not only had Pan-Benicia shown that he could create his own phrases and intended meanings, it showed that he had the cognitive ability to remember an event, recognize that it was wrong, and inform authority of the occurrence. This showed that the monkey was also able to understand syntactically that the use of the words fight, mad, and Austin together, although they each mean different things independently, created a new meaning. Unfortunately, there are also some gray areas in trying to understand how close animals are to acquiring language. Naturally, especially in cases like Pan-Benicia's with Dr. Rumbaugh, there is some error in the interpretation. How can they be sure that Pan-Benicia's wah, wah, wah meant a concrete yes, there was a fight back at the house? Or how can they be sure that he even understood the question at all? Although a lot of research points to the conclusion that he did understand with some cognition, the researchers cannot be absolutely sure. Because they want it to be true, the researchers might even have a bit of emotional bias to enhance their opinion, leading to fallacy in the argument. Ultimately, it comes down to the interpretation of research and how many concrete conclusions can be drawn from them. Ultimately, animals are far from actually learning how to use human language effectively. But they are not far from the potential. Animals simply need extensive training and extreme patience if they ever hope to achieve language.